This is the woman who orange-pilled Donald Trump, shifting the course of Bitcoin and crypto forever.
Hello, Bitcoiners.
So one night, we're at David Bailey's house, who has the Bitcoin conference, and he'd be like, I would love Trump as the speaker in Nashville. And I was like, I can actually help you with this. We're like, fuck it, we're going all in.
And how did that go?
We had a super successful meeting with him, but this is the wildest thing. They give us confirmation, and then a day or two later, the assassination attempt on the president happened. And we're all freaking out, and this man is so cool that he made sure to have his team call us and let us know that it didn't matter, come hell or high water, he was coming to the conference. It's been a wild ride, but here we are. They can't fuck with us anymore. They can try, but they won't win.
Does DC know that?
They do, because at our crypto ball, you saw a ton of politicians. Why are they in the room? Because they want our money. If you fuck with us, we will destroy you, and we will come after your seat, and we will put someone that is helpful to us. Screw you, because you've come against us every single time, and guess what? We won.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is... This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Tracy Hoyos López, the attorney, Bitcoin advocate, and crypto policy expert. You are the Chief of Staff of Strategic Initiatives at Kraken, where you advance Bitcoin integration into mainstream finance and politics. You worked as a prosecutor at the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, specializing in domestic violence and crimes against children, and have earned awards for your contributions to public service and your expertise in criminal law. In the Bitcoin space, you are known for orange-pilling President Donald Trump, leading to his massive policy shift regarding cryptocurrency. You then played a key role in his epic keynote appearance at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville and ultimately raised $25 million in just 6 weeks for his election campaign. You've said that Bitcoin is the future of finance, offering freedom from a broken financial system. You believe it empowers individuals, challenges government overreach, and reclaims financial sovereignty. Ultimately, you believe Donald Trump is the man to lead the crypto movement, protect Bitcoin, and reshape blockchain policy. Tracy, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Thank you for having me.
Great having you here. I say we just jump in.
Yeah, I should hire you as my PR person.
Right? We can talk after. So how does a DA from LA orange pill the most famous man in the world, Donald Trump?
So it was San Bernardino County.
Okay.
I started in LA, and then I went over to San Bernardino. How do you orange pill Donald Trump? I mean, this was a wild ride. Okay, so David Bailey, who owns BTC Inc., who has the Bitcoin conference,
And he's run Bitcoin Magazine for many years.
Correct. So
Right.
BTC Inc. has Bitcoin Magazine, Bitcoin conference, and I believe a part of UXTO.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan, obviously, of the Bitcoin conference. I was also orange pilled by David and his wife, Emily. Emily's my best friend, so this is how we're all connected.
When did they orange pill you?
In 2022,
Okay. All
they
right.
gave me a ticket to the conference and they said, come check it out and just hear it out. And I was like, okay, all right. So that's when the process started. What actually got me orange pilled was not the conference per se, but it was understanding what Bitcoin was and how it could operate. And because I was a prosecutor and my specialty was domestic violence and crimes against children, so what people don't understand in these cases is that in order for, so most women, right, are the victims of domestic violence. A lot of the women that are in these particular situations don't control their finances. They don't have access to their own money because their husbands or partners take their money from them. In order for you to escape a terrible situation, you need money. You need money to plan. If you don't have access to your finances, you have no money. And this is where I saw that Bitcoin is like a huge thing because you can open a wallet on your phone, hide it, and a community can help you. So you have a way of planning. And that, to me, was the thing that got it. That was it. I was sold. I was just like, I want to do this. I was the DA and ASA that everybody thought was completely insane. Because I'm just like, we just have to have a Bitcoin fund. We need a Bitcoin victim fund. And like everyone's like, this person is crazy.
That was in 22, you were telling them that?
That was in part of 22, definitely 23.
Okay.
I mean, and in 23, my office in Miami was decorated with Bitcoin everything. I had a Bitcoin astronaut, Bitcoin coasters, Bitcoin artwork, and everyone came to my office and they're like, I don't understand this Bitcoin thing. And I'm like, well, sit down.
Wow. So it was the domestic violence or the solution, potential solution to the domestic violence issue by giving these women financial freedom that actually orange pilled you.
That was the thing that got me.
That's wild.
And then you have these case studies from, I can't remember her name. I believe she's Iranian. She escaped, or Afghani, and I apologize. But she escaped, and then she created this Bitcoin community by hiring women in the Middle East in places where they're not allowed to like go out or work or do any of these things, you know, under the Afghani regime, under the Iranian regime. And so now these women who can't work but need to work because they have families to support are able to earn Bitcoin and, you know, provide for their family. So I was just like, okay, so my idea has a use case and that's it. So that was the thing that got me.
Wow. Okay. So you got orange pilled in 22.
Yep.
How does this President Trump orange pilling happen? Because it's a big deal. Some people say the crypto vote won the election. I don't know if that's true.
It is true. And I've seen the data.
Okay, well, there you go.
It is very true, especially in the swing states.
So if you hadn't have orange pilled Donald Trump, then we would be saluting to President Harris right now. Imagine.
We'd be trans. So this thing started with, what is the thing that motivates you? And everybody has like a precipitator, right? And like, what is the thing that broke the camel's back? So, you know, I was a Democrat for a very long time, but in 2020, I became a Republican for the 2020 incoming presidency. And my perspective and everything changed, obviously, because I was a prosecutor. And so I see like crime, who's coming across the border, what are the crimes that they're committing. So I became more involved with the Republican Party. I became more involved and more outspoken about the Republicans and what, you know, they were going to do and everything. What really was the precipitator for me on going out and actually doing something about it and actually getting involved in this was the government coming after me. And so I'm like, okay, the government's coming after me as a prosecutor for something I didn't do, which we'll get into later. Then the government's also coming after Jesse Powell. The government's going after a significant number of other people in the industry for absolutely no reason. They're coming after exchanges. People can't work. I am a big, big proponent of the US Constitution. I am an originalist, and I believe in the Constitution as it was written. So when you see the abuses the government is doing, there comes a point where you sit down and you're just like, I can't take this anymore. Like, this is not what the United States Constitution stands for. And I swore an oath to protect the US Constitution from enemies abroad and enemies within. So when this all happens, when you're being persecuted, I was upset, obviously, very upset. And I was just like, there's just something we have to do. I have to do something. I don't know what it is, but it'll come to me. So one night, we're at David Bailey's house, and David and I are just, outside shooting the shit, having a conversation. And he'd be like, man, like, I would love Trump as like the speaker in Nashville. And I was like, I can actually help you with this. And he's like, no, stop it. And I'm like, no, I can actually help you with this.
And when was this? What month was it in 24?
This was in March.
And the conference was in May?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 months out, you guys are hanging out in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And he says, I'd love to make this happen.
He's like, I just want this. And it was just, like, it's just friends. We talk about so many things. And this is one of the things, like, I mean, I would just love this.
Before this, Trump had never really publicly said anything pro-Bitcoin or pro-crypto.
No, all we had publicly from his statements were like the his anti-crypto stance, anti-Bitcoin.
From years earlier.
From years earlier,
right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And, we thought it's a long shot, but let's like, what's the worst they can say? No? Okay, then no. So I called my dad's best friend, Paul Manafort, and I was like, hey, do you know what the Bitcoin conference is? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
And I was just like, okay.
And Manafort is close in the Trump circle.
Yes.
Yes.
He's been friends with Trump for years before he ran his campaign in 2016.
Okay.
So they're friends. And he's like, no idea what I'm talking about. He does know Bitcoin. I won't tell that story. That's a him story. He needs to talk about that. That's a wild story. And he goes, I don't know what the Bitcoin conference is. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, okay. So the first try, because I'm telling you, this is a wild ride, right? To get to Trump, we have to convince Paul, right, that this is a legitimate thing, this is real. And at first, we were thinking small, but understand we're in uncharted waters. This is not what we do, right? Here's like an ex-prosecutor, a media guy, and like, we're just like trying to figure out like, what do we do? How do we sell this? How do we take this? How do we convince him? That wasn't even the thought at the time. The thought was only, how do we get him to Nashville? So the first thing, it's like, okay, this is the conference. This is how many people come to the conference. This is how much is streamed. This is the social media presence. This is the global presence of it. And it didn't click for anyone, not in the campaign, not for Paul at that time. It clicked on when he was on Nashville, on stage, giving this speech, the amount of people. And then when we saw what the media presence became, the social media impressions globally, I think it was something on the first day, like, oh my God, I think it was like 18.4 billion impressions. It was insane. It was insane, right?
Yeah, front page New York Times, front page BBC. I joked, I didn't know you at the time, that if you had to pay Donald to say these things, it would cost you $100 million for that endorsement. That's probably low. It was that big.
And I think that the ad value of it, when we got the numbers back, it was something atrocious. It was something like $286 million worth of ad value.
Right.
So we know this, obviously, because we're on the conference side. My friend's on the conference, so I'm privy to information. But they weren't getting it before. They had no idea what they were signing up for. And so we first do this, and then he's like, all right, we built all of these decks, and it's funny because the thing that got us through wasn't these decks, it was a 2-page PDF of us summarizing and distilling like why Bitcoin is important.
Okay.
And David was in Japan when he had just finished Bitcoin Asia, and he was in Japan afterwards, and I had gotten a call from Paul. I had just hung up with David. Paul says David has to meet with the president in like 3 days. And I'm like, all right. So I called David. He's not responding. I just hung up with him. He won't pick up my call. Emily is not responding. No one's responding. And I'm like, I am not going to text these news. These are like major news. So they don't respond. I text them and I was like, well, I was hoping to give you this news like over the telephone, but since you guys are not responding to me, you have to be with the president on Thursday, I think it was. They don't respond to me all night. I'm like, what's happening? In the morning, I call Emily and I'm like, hey, before I called her, I get a text from her. She reads what I sent and she goes, holy shit, oh my God, David. Then they call me and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, get your asses here. We have to ship David over to meet the president. And so it just gets funnier and funnier and funnier and lets you know, like, we were definitely amateurs at this and had like no idea, like, you know, David, typical Bitcoiner, has like one suit, right? And he has to meet the president in a suit.
Yeah.
And so this is the one suit he has that he wore in Asia. He's bringing back. We can't find, in Puerto Rico, there are like no 24-hour cleaners. This does not exist. Like, because power is so expensive that they will turn on the machines maybe once or twice a week. So like your dry clean isn't gonna be ready for like a week, right? And so we're like, we have to clean David's suit. How are we gonna get him there? So we're like airing the suit, Febrezing the suit. We're just like, all right, well, we've done the best that we could. And he has a grin from here to here. He's so excited. He's nervous. He has no idea like what he's walking into, what's gonna happen. And then he met with the president and, you know, they asked us for our help and how are we gonna say no? So there were a lot of really tough conversations that I don't think people understand what it was like. So for me, I'm like an all-in person, and David is like that too. It's like when we do something, we're all in. We're doing it all. But we were like, you know, we have to succeed. There is no turning back. And that's when we understood that we weren't only bringing Trump to Nashville, but we had to help him understand the space. We had to advocate for the space because if he didn't win, the industry would die in the United States. And everybody that we knew would be out of work. We would be out of work. At this point, I was living in Puerto Rico. So like, this became my job. And so we had to sit down where we're having a very honest conversation of like, we can't fail. This is not an option. If we do, they will come after us.
Because you helped Trump, right? Yeah, a lot of people would have been gone after, including him.
And we had a dinner at one point with, it was like the head of policy for Trump, and we're like, well, we better win or we're all gonna go to prison. And he's like, yup. It's like, I mean, and I don't want to say we were terrified because that's not true. We're Americans. We're cowboys. We're wild. We're crazy. We're like, fuck it. We're going all in. We're doing this. And we didn't care about whatever happened. We were just like, there's no room for failure. We're not going to fail. This was not a thought. We didn't even have the ability to think about it. We didn't allow ourselves to think about it. And I think that was very big for us because it allowed us to work from a space where we just executed constantly. So the first thing that we had to do after David's meeting with the president.
And how did that go?
It went really, really well.
What happened?
That's a story for David to tell. Okay. There are so many things in this process that we can share, and there are so many other things that we can't share. So I don't want to overshare things that I can't. But it went really, really well. He was very happy. He wanted us to come on board and assist them. And he, if I remember correctly, he told David that he would be supportive of the community and that he would help us. He would help us save the industry. And of course, one of the main things, so they asked us, to put together, like, what are the major issues in the industry? What are the major issues in the space that you're seeing? And of course, the number one thing for us was Ross. So, and there's been a lot of talk on Twitter about, oh, we were the ones that freed Ross. I want to be super clear about that. Angela McCurdle from the Libertarian Party in the United States was the one who did the heavy lifting on that. Like, she was the one that got that done.
And for people that don't know, who is Ross?
So Ross Ulbricht is the creator of Silk Road, which was a marketplace on the dark web where you could buy anything from alpaca socks to hardcore drugs. And Ross was
using Bitcoin because it was an anonymous payment.
Exactly.
Form of payment.
And so
this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
This was what, 2016?
Right.
2017 when he got arrested, I believe it was.
Right.
No, way before that. Hang on. 2013.
Yeah, it was running in 10, 11, 12, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in prison for 11 years, 12 years almost. Ross was very important to us. Whatever, as a former prosecutor, yes, Ross did something that was bad, but incarcerating someone at that age for the rest of their life is completely inappropriate.
Yeah, what was he charged with, and then what sentence did he get, just so people know?
So he was charged with a number of drug-related crimes, and I would have to look at the charging document because it's been a while since I look at it.
Yeah.
But I read the transcripts of the trial. It was... The sentencing is the portion of the trial that was just really egregious. They gave Ross 2 life sentences and 40 years for a nonviolent offense. And everybody will come and say, well, the murder for hire charges were dismissed with prejudice. So you can't even consider that.
Right.
And to put someone at that age for a nonviolent offense in prison for the rest of their life is, to me, a travesty.
How old was he at the time?
Ross at the time when he was caught was 26 years old?
Okay.
Around that age.
Okay.
I think by the time he went into prison was 29?
Okay.
29, 30, around that age.
Right. And Trump pardoned him the first day or the second day, right?
So in theory, it was the second day, but we see it as the first day because the first day is that half day.
Okay.
Right. He's getting inaugurated and then all that stuff is happening. So David and I agree that this is day one. And
was Ross mentioned in that first meeting, or did it kind of come up?
Ross was mentioned in the first meeting.
Interesting.
And but Angela had already done all the work.
Okay. But that resonated with Trump because perhaps he was being unfairly prosecuted even by, was it FBI that came after Ross?
So I wouldn't say that he was being unfairly prosecuted. What I think it is that there was you build a marketplace, people are doing these things, you don't control what people do. And we can argue all day long about that, and we can argue all day long about, the things that were written and said. That's not really I don't really care about that. My whole point is the way that he was sentenced. Ross admitted that what he did was wrong, but the issue is the sentence. It's a sentencing. You're destroying a person. Punishment in criminal cases should not be, listen, we're not talking about a rapist and a murderer here. So that, pedophiles, rapists, murderers, put them away forever. Go for it. But with other types of crimes, there has to be a balance between accountability, but also rehabilitation. I want you to learn your lesson and never do it again. But I also want you to use this experience in the positive and go help other people that are going through a similar situation than you.
Right.
And his sentence was just absolutely horrible. And we do believe, and I wholeheartedly believe that, the Obama administration had something to do with that. type of sentencing the way that it happened. I mean, I know a lot of things that I can't talk about, but we do believe that. And also, it was done, we believe, for, and when I say we, I mean like me and my friends in the industry, in the space, and I believe that it was done to deter people from utilizing Bitcoin. Ross gave us our first use case. Ross is the reason Bitcoin works. We wouldn't have known that Bitcoin worked had it not been for him. So, he is, by however you want to see him, he is the godfather of Bitcoin. He gave us this.
Wow. I used a Silk Road back in the day.
Oh yeah? What'd you buy?
did.
Alpaca socks?
I'll go into that later. It was the subject of one of my episodes on London Real. So yeah.
But it was really important for us that the president understood that, we love Ross and that we really wanted to get him out. What happened to him was a complete travesty and it shouldn't happen to anybody. And of course, we're good friends with his mom. I love his mom very, very much. And so she is the rock star here. I mean, Lynn is unstoppable. Lynn has spent the last 12 years of her life making sure no one forgets about her son.
It's amazing.
And I mean, only a mother's love, right?
Yeah.
Can accomplish that. But
Okay.
she did.
So Ross was part of that initial meeting that came up, and then you explained the community, and Trump wanted to move to the next step. And that meant you both getting involved, all three of you getting involved.
So he wanted us to do I can't remember how it went about, but we needed to put together a roundtable. And, one of the things that we discussed was there are certain perceptions about the industry that let's just be real here. The crypto industry is seen as debaucherous, crazy people, tons of drugs. So we had to think about what the perception is and then be like, listen, yes, this exists, but it exists in every industry. I mean, the finance bros, my God, I've never seen more cocaine in my life than when I've been around like people in finance. So we sat down, we thought about how do we show that this industry is a legitimate industry? So we need legitimate people in legitimate businesses. So Peter McCormick had come to visit us and in Puerto Rico, and we went out to dinner. We actually took over Amanda Fabiano's dinner with her sister, and I think like 15 of us showed up. And Amanda was there, and David told her, hey, we're doing this thing, we need to talk.
And who is Amanda for people
So
that don't
Amanda
know?
Fabiano is the mining queen in the space. Amanda is who built the mining arm of Galaxy, which I believe is like the only profitable arm that Galaxy has.
Okay.
She's worked at Fidelity. She now runs her own consulting business, but she's incredibly respected by the miners. She is an expert in mining. And so what is more legitimate in this industry and professional looking, right, than Bitcoin mining? These guys have phenomenal backgrounds, come from Ivy League schools, former Wall Street. We have to speak Trump language.
Okay.
All right? So Trump is the money man. We have to explain him in the language that he understands, money. So we get the most legitimate people. We got Clean Spark, Marathon, Riot, Exacore, Core Scientific, TerraWolf. We got all of these guys for this roundtable, and we sat down with the president. And here's the really cool thing about Donald Trump that I don't think anybody knows. I mean, the people that have dealt with him know, but the world doesn't know, is this man is such a good listener. He will listen to everything that you have to say, and he will ask you. And if he has a question, he'll just ask you. And I thought that was really interesting and wonderful because that is not how he's portrayed in the media to us. So we sat down, we explained mining, we explained what was happening in the mining industry, especially with, energy, prices of energy, and then the Democrats wanted to pass an additional tax on energy. So Bitcoin mining is taxed at two levels. One, when the Bitcoin is generated, and second, when the Bitcoin is sold. Well, they wanted to add a 30% taxation on the energy costs. So at that point, the miners can't operate in the United States because you're making them completely unprofitable.
Right.
So the president really took issue with that. He was just like, wait, what? There's 3 taxes on this thing? We're like, well, 2, but 3. He's like, yeah, but they want to add another one. And we're like, this is what's happening. And like, if we don't do something, these companies are going to leave. And the cool thing about mining is that, these companies are going out, they're looking for these places that have been abandoned. They go to the middle of nowhere where like there are communities that have very little. So they go in, they like develop the infrastructure. They take also like displaced energy workers, for example, like former coal miners, and they retrain them to come into Bitcoin mining. So this is something that the president really liked. Oh, okay, right, because he's so big on the like technical institutes and like not everybody can afford to go to a 4-year institution. So this is something that caught his attention as well. And we had a super successful meeting with him where he was like, okay, I'm on board with this thing. So after the mining roundtable,
This is like April at Mar-a-Lago, something like that.
This was...
A month before the conference or 2 months before. Like that.
When was the conference? July.
Was it July? Okay.
I think that the mining roundtable was either May or June, somewhere around those lines.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, we started to prep Nashville. But we didn't get confirmation for Nashville until it just got wilder and wilder, right? So this is the former president of the United States. This is the one thing. Like people think, oh, yeah, he's just a candidate. He's not just a candidate. This is the former president of the United States, soon to be the president of the United States again. So it's not like, hey, do you want to come to our conference thing? It's like, we have to lay out a plan. We have to, do all these things. So we're planning. We're trying to set all of this, and we didn't know at one point, like, is he going to come or is he not going to come? Because he's like so oversubscribed with everything.
Yeah.
And so...
Did he go to any other trade conference the entire year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. This is when I was talking about this, I was like, this guy doesn't go to the home improvement conference. He doesn't go to the finance conference. Like, this was such a huge deal on so many levels.
Huge deal. But
right.
He's the money guy.
Right.
If there's anything that he's going to do, is the thing that has to do with money.
Yeah, in retrospect, you can say that. But before that, this is a big deal.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. And at the same time, you're also raising money for the campaign, like simultaneously.
Simultaneously, we assisted with the fundraising efforts.
Okay.
Correct. But this is the wildest thing. So they give us confirmation. And then I think it was like a day or 2 later where the assassination attempt on the president happened.
Oh my gosh.
And we're all freaking out because we're just like, at first we're like, is he dead? Like, what's happening? And so we get confirmation that he's okay. This man is so cool that he made sure to have his team call us and let us know that it didn't matter, come hell or high water, he was coming to the conference. Here we are trying to see, like, are you okay? Can we help in any, we're just concerned. And he's just like, we're coming. Like, don't worry about it. I am coming to the conference.
Because it was a couple weeks later, right? It wasn't that far off.
Yeah.
Right. It was at the Republican convention, and then you guys
It was the Republican convention, and the weekend after it was the Bitcoin convention.
Yeah.
Or I think like 2 weeks after was the Bitcoin convention.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin conference, yeah.
Crazy.
So we're like, this guy is a rock star. Here you are dodging bullets and you think to just call us to let us know that you're coming. Well, we're just trying to find out if you're okay. So we ramped it up, and we started then aggressively fundraising. So Amanda and David obviously led with that because they were so well known in the space. So everybody trusted them. I was like the bossy Latina coming in and telling everybody this is what you need to do and this is where you need to be and this is what we're gonna do and this is gonna be the format and these are the topics. And everyone's like, who is this person? And I'm just like, I'm the person that made this happen. So please just follow lead. I promise it's all going to be good. And then Nashville happened. We raised $25 million. Honestly, we raised that it was less than 2 months.
And you told me that was the single biggest individual industry donation of his campaign.
So
or right up there.
So it's right up there, and I would have to look at that. But I think Petro is one of the largest, but we were by far, we were a significant part of the donations, right?
Wow.
$25 million is not chump change. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. And where did it come from? Companies,
individuals. It was a combination of everybody. I mean, everybody wanted to come on board and help us. Everybody wanted to make this happen. Everybody had a catastrophic story to tell about what's happening to their companies. Miners, JP Richardson from Exodus, who just went public. I mean, JP sat down with the president and told him the story of everything that had happened to his company. And the president was shocked. Nobody understands how horrible the regulation and these agencies have been to the industry. They've been extremely, extremely hostile. I mean, these companies are spending upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars in litigation alone. So everybody jumped on board. Everybody, there was definitely some people that played both sides of the field, which whatever, I get it. I'm not for it, but I get it from a business standpoint.
That donated to both parties.
Yeah,
right.
That donated to both parties.
Right.
But then there were a lot of people that were nope, we're balls deep on Trump.
Right.
We know what they're gonna do to us. We know what he's gonna do for us. And so
I was on stage mediating a panel at Future Blockchain Summit in October, and there was some CEOs there, and they gave me this line well, whoever wins, at least we're going to have more clarity. And I just said, let's hold on a second, guys. Seriously, did your PR tell you that? If she wins, we're all fucked. If he wins, we have liberation. And let's just be super clear about this.
100%.
But yeah, a lot of people were either saying that publicly because they were hedging themselves.
They were hedging themselves. And I mean, I don't get it. Because, and maybe this sounds naive, or maybe this is just too much out there, in the dream world. But if you want to make the world a better place, be fucking honest. And stop bullshitting people. You've got the team that wants to just destroy every company out there with regulation by enforcement, who wants to come in and establish a CBDC. And now, I understand the CBDC argument from different countries and different people, but this is the thing that I'll say. We're Americans. Fuck CBDCs. We do not want to be tracked or controlled by our government, and they don't have a right to do so. They also don't have a right to curtail the Fourth Amendment by utilizing a CBDC. If you want my information, you get a warrant. You go to court and you get a warrant. You make your case. Why would we allow them to do this to, oh, yes, please, come check out my stuff. No, by all means, yes, this is how I move. No, screw you. I don't have to tell you anything. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a drug dealer. We're just people trying to buy things, pay things, move things around. So this is what they wanted to do. This is what that team wanted to do. And for you to come out and say, no, they're open. I mean, and I won't name the companies because I have friends in every company. But when you're posting, oh, we had a very positive meeting with the Harris team. Bullshit. It wasn't a positive meeting. You didn't talk about anything. She never showed up. She was extremely disrespectful to the industry. You're a presidential candidate, and you don't want to come and sit with these people? Do you have any idea how much power we have as an industry? Well, if you didn't know then, you know now. Because every single person, regardless of their party affiliation, who ran on a Bitcoin and or crypto platform won their seats. Every single one of them. The president, in Congress, both in the Senate and the House of Representatives. Every single person. And what's cool about that is when we were putting together the crypto ball, a lot of, we talked about like, what is the meaning behind this? So it was Nick Carr and I who started with the idea of the crypto ball.
This is during the president's inauguration. It was this big event you guys hosted. Yeah, looked amazing.
And thank you.
And big as well.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we had way more people showed up than like, I think it was 1,700 total.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And we had like capacity for like 1,200.
Okay.
So it was very big. And the whole point of that was like, what is the message that we want to convey? Why are we doing this? Why are we throwing a party? Some people will tell you parties are vanity. That's so stupid. Oh, you guys are throwing a party because you guys are like the nouveau riche people who have to like, and like in a way it's kind of funny because we're in the 20s and it's similar to kind of like the 20s in that sense. But
the roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s, right? But when Nick and I sat down to discuss this, he's like, okay, we're like, what is the intent that we're putting behind all of this? And I was like, this is easy. Our intent is to show every single politician that if you fuck with us, we will destroy you as an industry. The industry will band together and we will come after your seat. And we will put someone that is helpful to us. Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is work. We're not asking for special favors. We are not asking for special treatment. We just want to work. And we just want to continue employing the people that are in our companies, which, by the way, would be displaced if the industry would have to like leave the United States. And that's thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of employees that these companies have. And I was like, and they need our money. So they're going to want to come to our party. And if they want our money, they can fucking come and grovel. Because how many times did we have to go and grovel to them? How many times did we have to go plead to them, be like, please, this is what's happening, like our companies are under attack, and to what extent? And that's not to say that we don't have champions. I mean, Senator Lummis is a champion, Senator Blackburn, Ted Cruz, like we have people there that are vision. I mean, Ted Cruz mines Bitcoin. So the whole point around this was, we're here. We made it. We made it with despite every attack, every hostile thing you've ever said about us. And I was just like, and wouldn't this be the biggest fuck you to Elizabeth Warren? It's like, we're gonna have the hottest ticket in town when it comes to events during inauguration week for Donald J. Trump, the 47th president of the United States. And screw you, because you've come against us every single time. And guess what? We won. You've tried to destroy Bitcoin all these years. We won. You've tried to destroy an entire industry, and guess what? We know how to put our differences together, like aside, and work together to accomplish the common good for what we need. And that was something that the president complimented us on. When we were at the Nashville Roundtable, this was one of the things that he said. He's like, I worked with many people and many industries, and I've never seen like the cohesiveness, the working together, despite the fact that you're competitors. This is great. So, it's been a wild ride, but here we are. And Nashville was, when you're on the other side of things, it's so stressful, right? Like we work with their team. By the way, the president's team, the people that work for this man are the most extraordinary people on the planet. They are so sweet. They are so diligent, super responsive. And we have wonderful relationships with them because we've spent a whole year working with them.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.